Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a slight tutorial here to show you how to split a mother plant in the form of the Cryptocoryne Kubatai. If you recall, just a little while ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I got in a Cryptocoryne Kubatai from my friend old Tommy Barr, straight out of California, and I wanted to get it adapted to my system before I split it. I added it into my aquarium utilizing a plant weight and allowed it to just sit on the bottom and not plant it into the substrate because I wanted it to adapt to the tank and not get fully rooted and then have to move it again. It's actually kind of a trick to stop a mother Cryptocoryne from melting when it comes time to split it. As you can see from this mother plant, it does send out side shoots and it does send out small runners every once in a while, but this species is not renowned for sending out runners all across the tank like other Cryptocoryne species. So the main goal of this propagation method is to spread this plant out around the tank. As you can see, most of the propagation comes from the center stalk of the plant. We do have a bunch of plantlets all attached to one stalk, and today we're going to have to remove those to get them ready for planting because we want to have more of these plants in the tank and not just one in one spot. There is a razor blade sitting right behind there, which I didn't have to use today, although sometimes you can use it to facilitate this process. But the main step at the beginning here is to identify where the original plant is and which are the new plants. Now the newer plants are going to be further down away from the very center of the stalk. And as you can see, I can actually find each individual little kind of nub and actually break it off. I didn't actually need the razor blade assistance this time, and it was actually quite simple. Once you kind of take a minute to appreciate and kind of identify where each new little plantlet is, you can see each one has 1 to 2, sometimes all the way up to 5 little roots and everything coming off of it, which will give us an opportunity for it to root and be in the substrate and become its own established plant. With the plant in a well-lit area where I can actually see what's going on, I kind of just work my way around the plant and I'm able to figure out where they all are and actually just kind of peel in a downward motion, and actually worked out to be pretty simple. As I get to the final stalk here, you'll notice that there is an astounding amount of root compared to the rest of them. These roots will simply just be trimmed to probably 2 inches versus the sort of 5-6 inches long that they are right now, and that will be totally fine. It makes it much easier to plant, and it actually does stimulate some new growth of roots into the substrate once the mother plant's put back in. From what was pretty reasonable size little mother plant here, we actually end up with 6 or 7 separate plants that we can plant all about the aquarium, and they will grow and establish. Though be aware, oftentimes when you do this with a Cryptocoryne, they will melt their leaves back, so be ready for that and remember to be patient, and they will do fine. Planting is quite simple. We grab our tongs and essentially grasp the roots, push it down into the substrate, and make sure that we don't bury the very end of the rhizome where the leaves begin. We just don't want to bury that portion, but we do want all the roots in the substrate. This plant will establish, and like I mentioned earlier, be aware that the leaves will likely melt from it being moved and trimmed like this. They will melt away in order to pull back energy into the roots again, and then new leaves will sprout. So don't be too stressed out about it if the leaves do melt away. I have to move a couple of other plants out of the way because they will be shaded out, but other than that, just found a spot over here in the 150 where I wanted them to go in front of this little bit of rock work that's going on over here. I have to admit, I'm really excited to have this plant in my possession. It's one that I've only ever really seen online. I've never seen one in person, so I'm totally happy to have gotten this plant in. I'm very excited to see how long I can, how many of them I can propagate over the years here, and hopefully get some more hand it out to some other people. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a comment down below, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, maybe join our community, whatever, any of that kind of stuff. If you want to become a sponsor, you can, as an individual, as little as $1 a month. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, stay tuned for more plant-related nonsense in aquariums, because that's what we do here. All right, later.